watching Showbiz Insider, and up next we meet some of the region's most empowering female fashion designers. Zareena, Dima Ayad, Orkalia and newcomer Tair are cutting patterns and designing for both the real and slightly ethereal woman. Be inspired and get the look for Spring/Summer 17. Emerging through the twilight of the mystic forest, leading local designer Zareena embraced regal femininity. Bring back the fairy tale with pastel-coloured georgette-clad princesses and elegant draped designs. Zareena, from Arabian Nights to last season's the 60s, the pret-a-porter, this one is just timeless elegance. What was the narrative behind this collection?
I wanted to go back. I wanted to feel I'm young, and I want to dream to be a princess, a fairy. And I felt it each piece when I was making it. I was feeling it that, you know, the fashion become too fast, that the cuts and the designs is becoming very kind of, you know, like too fast for us, for the women and that. So I wanted to go back.
This is a creative process was really going back in time to this sort of almost like dream, like Giselle type moon experience. Tell us about what you mentioned there, the cuts and the draping, because this is part of your signature looks, this very elegant look for women.
See, I combine two cultures. I have to combine my culture with international culture. So what I do is all the time, this blend, it works for me very well. I feel it's really nice. So I give the flow, I give the culture of UAE, I mean the Arab society. At the same time, I give the international touch.
Now, we talked once before about how your clothes and your fashion, your style really empowers women. How do you feel that thread runs through this collection?
If you see it, it's too strong, but you know, my collection, it's for a strong woman that she wants to feel feminine. With my collection, she combines both.
In complete contrast, here's a refreshing experiment of classic menswear textiles. Aliya Tair is inspired by Eastern aesthetics, minimal mood, and geometric silhouettes. Fresh talent with an interesting path into design. We haven't had you on the show before, so can you just tell me a little bit about your personal journey into fashion design?
All right, that's quite a journey because I went from the back road to the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a designer since I was a teenager, and I was growing up in Soviet Union. It does not exist anymore. So during the separation of Soviet Union, the economy was down, and fashion design, art, and all these professions, they were not eligible in the country. They were not required, and so my parents insisted that I do something a bit more serious in their opinion, and they pushed me to do the tourism with the English, which helped me later on.
Now let's talk a little bit about the collection. So basically, your journey, you know, you've gone into fashion from various different angles and taken everything from that. What are the other inspirations that have really inspired this collection? The neutral color palette, the silhouettes, where is that coming from? What sort of part of you do you want to explore?
Well, the colors are my favorite colors. I am very much monochrome in my daily life. Everything that I wear, everything that I own is monochrome. I just love the dark blue and navies and black and grays. That palette is one of my favorite palettes. And my friends even joke that I have to let a bit of a color in my life. Yes, and
the silhouettes are very kind of like simplistic. How would you describe them? It's that mix of masculine and feminine, right?
It's a mix of, exactly, it's a mix of masculine and feminine. It's also influence of Japanese minimalism. It's an influence of Scandinavian minimalism as well, which is a bit different.
Lebanese designer Dima Ayad showcased a line of feel-good fashion for real women. A brand philosophy of wear and go, she invited Dubai society faces to model her looks.
So the whole brand was about women for all shapes and sizes, and the thought process was about making sure that every woman was comfortable in their own skin. and this collection is just the idea of it being wearable and every woman can actually wear the clothes. So
I love that you used some of our Dubai faces. Take us through some of the personalities we saw on the catwalk.
they're all strong, they all have opinions, they all have personalities, they all have reasons for being. You have Priya, who heads athletic for sportswear. You've got Stristova, who's got this strong, bold. I wanted to combine all of that with real people mixed with everyone. So that was the thought process of doing this. It was all about modern romance, and next season is not about flashy colors. It's more about subdued colors and things that bring it out. So I love a little bit of bling. Who doesn't? So I had a combination of a bit of that bling and then summer fabrics and really light. So I used a lot of sequin, a lot of jersey, a lot of soft cotton lace, and I combined all of that to create the collection.
And finally, Orkalia stands for investment in human effort. So every piece is handcrafted to bring a modern twist to classic elegance. Reverse shirts, wearable separates, and flowing emerald green silks of spring. So Orchid, now your collections have been called before, like at the forefront of neo couture. Is that a label that sits well with you, or how would you describe your work?
Well, I think definitely at the forefront of neo couture is something that we're very proud to hear. The reason for that is I think because we do kind of use a lot of hand embellished, hand embroidered, handmade pieces that are actually made everything in Dubai. So in terms of that, the couture aspect is definitely there. The neo is basically pieces are very wearable. They're more modern, more contemporary in their approach.
So I was just saying, like literally everything in the collection you could take off the hanger and wear. Take me through the design process. Was it designed for the Dubai woman? Who was it designed for?
It's definitely designed for the modern global woman. I think that's kind of where we're headed to in the future anyways. There's no sense of cultures or borders. It's all kind of like an intermixed global culture, I guess. So in that sense, I think this is definitely something that we have in mind when we are designing. It's for people that are, jet setters. They're working hard. They're kind of grabbing every single aspect of their lives and it's full and making the best of it, I guess.
And what sort of themes and inspirations can we see threading through this particular collection?
Well, in this collection specifically, we're thinking about the inner child versus the really adult kind of borders and the meshing, the borders that we put in front of ourselves, basically.
What, like psychological borders? Okay.
I guess exactly. That's definitely something that we always go back to in terms of our design process. But kind of putting that back into the visual aspects, we have that idea of mesh in the collections itself. But then we also juxtapose it with the floral aspect, the fluid feminine aspects of the materials, the embroidery, and it's really just more a rhetoric. It's really a conversation.
My inner child is definitely drawn to silky playsuits and full-length princess attire. That's for an ultra-feminine spring-summer 17. So that's all we've got time for on this edition of Showbiz Insider. From Bollywood to art to fashion. Hope you guys loved the show. Now remember, you can stay in touch with us. We've got our Facebook page, which is titled Showbiz Insider. We've also got our Twitter feed, which is at Zoe Showbiz. And that covers everything from the international scenes of film, fashion, and the arts. We'll be back same time next month with full coverage of Dubai International Film Festival. See you then.